boys and girls. Today I'm going to read chapters 1 and 2 of our new story from Ready Freddy, the talent show Scaredy Pants. This is what's going to happen. Chapter 1. I have a really big problem. My class is having a talent show and I have no talent. Let me tell you about it. While I'm reading this, think about what you would do if we had a talent show at our school. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, listen everyone. My teacher, Mrs. Whooshy, next Monday is Grandparents' Day here at school. Your grandparents are invited to spend the whole day with us. Robbie raised his hand. Excuse me, Mrs. Whooshy, but my grandparents don't live around here. Yeah, and I don't have any grandparents, Max butted in. That's okay, boys, Mrs. Whooshy said. You can borrow a grandparent for the day, like a neighbor or a family friend. I do hope you bring somebody, though, because I thought it would be fun to put on a talent show for all of our special guests. I raised my hand. Yes, Freddie, said Mrs. Whooshy. You mean put on a talent show in front of all the grandparents? Of course that's what she means, silly, said Chloe, fluffing her strawberry blonde hair, curls and smiling her biggest movie star smile. We are going to be stars. I gulped. I don't think that's such a good idea, I said as my stomach started to do flip-flops. Why not? Asked Jessie. Yeah, why not? Max butted in again. Does the baby have stage fright? And here are the pictures if you want to pause to look for the word Finn. No, I started to protest, but then Mrs. Whooshy cut me off. All right, enough, Max. Don't worry, Freddie. I promise you'll have a great time. I do this every year, and the grandparents love it. Now I will need everyone to think of an act for the show. Does anyone have any ideas? Chloe's hand shot up. As soon as Mrs. Whooshy called on her, she leaped to her feet and started doing some ballet moves. I could do the dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy from the Nutcracker, she said, twirling around. I'm really good at it because I've been practicing in my ballet class. I even have the outfit to go with it. It has fairy wings and a tiara and a tutu decorated with candies. And she's such a show-off, I whispered to my best friend, Robbie. I wish she would sit down already and be quiet. Just then, Max grabbed her by the arm and said, Okay, little Miss Purse, you can stop bragging and sit down now, as he pulled her back to the rug. Ow! Let me go. Mrs. Whooshy, did you see what he did? Chloe said, folding her arms across her chest and pouting. I was just showing you my talent. Max, you need to keep your hands to yourself. What do you say to Chloe? Sorry, he mumbled. What? I can't hear you, Chloe sneered, cupping her ear with her hand. You know, an apology doesn't count unless you can hear the person say it. Sorry, Max yelled in her ear. All right, you two, Mrs. Whooshy said. Please go sit on opposite ends of the rug. Does anyone have any ideas for the show? Jessie raised her hand. Yes, Jessie. I do a flamenco. A flamenco? Here's a picture of her with her hand up. Push pause if you want to look for Finn. Flamingo, said Max, chuckling. Are you going to dress up like a bird? For your information, Mr. Flamenco is a type of Spanish dance. I've been learning it from my abuela, my grandma, who lives with me and my mom. She's been teaching it to me after school. It's sort of tricky, but I think I'm good enough to do it for the show. That sounds cool, I said. I bet you're really good. Thanks, Freddie, Jessie said, smiling. Hey, I'm good too, Chloe whined. Why didn't you say that to me? Because you're so annoying, you little brat, Max snapped. What did you say? Chloe asked. She glared at Max. That's it, said Mrs. Whooshy. Come sit in these chairs, and I don't want to hear another word from either of you, or you'll both be going to have a little chat with Mr. Pendergast. Oh, I whispered to Robbie. Mr. Pendergast is our principal. We call him the skunk because his breath stinks. That sounds like a great idea, Jessie, said Mrs. Whooshy. I love flamenco dancing, and that's a wonderful way to share some of your culture. Any ideas? The kids kept raising their hand, and everyone had an idea for the talent show. Everyone except me. I had no talent. What was I going to do? I can't even whistle. Okay, I think I've got you all on my list, said Mrs. Wushy. Except you, Freddie. What would you like to do? I don't know, I mumbled, shrugging my shoulders. I'm sure you're good at lots of things. How about singing a song? You love sharks, right? Why don't you sing a song about a shark? I'm sure you know one. Was she crazy? I don't even sound good when I'm singing in the shower. I wasn't about to sing in front of everybody's grandparents. No, I'm not a very good singer. How about telling jokes? Nah, I don't know any funny ones. Do you play an instrument? Nope. Mrs. Wushy was getting a little frustrated. But I can't help it if I'm a loser with no talent. Well, why don't you think about it tonight and tell me tomorrow? Okay, sure, I said, but more time wasn't going to help me unless someone had a magic spell for talent. Chapter 2 is called Loser. When we got on the bus to go home, I plopped myself down next to Robbie, leaned my head back against the seat, and let out a giant sigh. I had to come up with something to do for the talent show. I hit my forehead with the palm of my hand. Think, think, think. Don't worry, Freddie. You'll come up with something to do for the show, Robbie said. You're good at lots of things. Oh, yeah? Name one. You're the best dodgeball player ever in the history of Lincoln Elementary. Great. And what do you suggest I do for the show? Have all the grandparents throw balls at me while I'm jump around the stage trying not to get hit? Okay, well, you're really good at catching bugs. You could catch some really cool bugs and bring them in, said Robbie. Oh, I can see it now. Everyone's grandma screaming while I hold up a jar of fat, juicy earthworms and say, just look at this beauty I caught yesterday. Oh, I know, Robbie interrupted. You're a shark expert. You could do a really cool skit about sharks and... Face it, Robbie, I said, cutting him off. I can't do anything. I'm just a loser. I leaned my head back against the seat again and closed my eyes. Freddie is a loser. Freddie is a loser. Oh, no. I was hearing what I thought I was hearing. Was I hearing what I thought I was hearing? Was Max, the biggest bully in all of first grade, telling the whole bus that I was a loser? I opened my eyes. Yep. Here's a picture of Robbie and Freddie on the bus trying to think of something. There was Max with his hands cupped around his mouth chanting, Freddie is a loser. Freddie is a loser. Be quiet, Max, I uttered angrily under my breath. Did you say something? Max asked, whipping his head around in my direction. Who, me? I asked, shrinking back down into my seat. Yeah, you, he said, poking his finger at my chest. I just said, I give up, Max. That's what I thought, loser, he said. I rubbed my chest where he had poked as I slid back down to my seat. Robbie grabbed my arm and whispered, don't let him get to you. I can't help it, I said. I sat there staring at the back of Max's head. Stupid, dumb, poopy head, I mumbled. What was that? What was that, loser? Max asked, jumping around and grabbing me by the shirt. Yikes. Do you see the word fin? Ugh. I see it. Boy, this guy must have some kind of supersonic hearing, I gulped. I said, oh, I wish I'd stayed in bed. That's not what it sounded like, Max said, tightening his grip on my shirt. Soon I wouldn't be able to breathe. Well, that's what I heard, said Robbie, and I'm sitting right next to him. I owed Robbie big time. I think he just saved my life. Are you sure? Max asked. Yep, Robbie answered, nodding his head. If you say so, said Max, loosening his grip on my shirt. Max gave me the evil eye and sat back down. I turned to Robbie and whispered, I owe you one. No, you don't, he whispered back. That's what friends are for. Okay, that's the end of chapter 2. Chapter 3 is tomorrow, and it's called, Can You Make Me Disappear? But what I want you to do tonight is think about what you would do if you were in a talent show. What's your talent that you would do? And you know what? I'll post a question on the stream, and you can go to the stream and answer the question. I want to know what you would do in a talent show. All right, good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Remember, we're not meeting for a Google Classroom tomorrow for a hangout. If you want to read to me, you got to go to the classroom and sign up. Good night.